of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship. This is a fellowship that was started by a vision that God gave a man called Demos Shekarian, and a Malian who migrated to America by prophecy. Because after his family left Armenia to America, there was a great massacre that took place in Armenia, and they escaped that situation. And Demos had become a Christian and had been very helpful to Orarobos, Frederick Price in their ministries. But at a point, he had a great burden in his heart because he saw men take their wives to church and their children to church and will go elsewhere. Maybe they'll go to play golf or go to the club or go to drink. And once the church service is over, they will come back and pick their wife and children. And so he became worried. How can this group of people be reached for Christ? He had a burden in his heart. Being a businessman, he tried to see how he can help other businessmen that don't know the Lord to know the Lord. And so the idea of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship was incubated in his heart, and he shared that story with Orarobos, who gave him a nod and said, well, this is going to be a great ministry. It was purely to be a layman's ministry, layman or layman, in the sense that a businessman talked to a businessman witnessed a businessman, a banker witnessed a banker, a medical doctor witnessed a medical doctor, a lawyer witnessed a lawyer, a plumber witnessed a plumber. Whatever you do, and he defined business loosely as anything you do that is legitimate from where you earn your living. Yes. And that was how the ministry started. For 1 year, he tried to organize outreaches virtually every Saturday, and he bankrolled, he paid, he gave free meals to people. And for 1 year, it wasn't working. In fact, Rose, the wife, told him, if God is in this thing, why is it not working? You better shut it down. And so a day to the last meeting, he said, well, a day to the last meeting, when he said to shut down the fellowship, he said to go back to God in prayer. And in the place of prayer, God met him. God answers prayers. Whether our generation believe it or not, we know there's a God in heaven. And the Bible has said it's only a fool that has said in his heart, there is no God. No God. That's right. As he went to God in prayer, God now showed him what his plan for his ministry was and what his mind was. He saw people of all races and colors stand shoulder to shoulder, dead, morbid, lifeless. And while that was going on, the situation changed. He now also saw the same people who were morbid and dead looking. Suddenly, they were all happy and joyous and excited. And while he was seeing that, while that was being shown to him, God told him that this is exactly what's going to happen, that this message of the gospel will be taken across the entire world. And these men you find being happy shall become instruments in his hands. And these men that he found so happy were not ministers of the gospel, were not clergies of the gospel, but were just ordinary laymen. Laymen like you and I. Praise God. When a pastor prays for you, it's his business to pray for you. But when a layman prays for you and something happens, there's an excitement. And so what has happened is that we see ourselves as ordinary men being used by God to do extraordinary things. Full gospel, because we believe the entire gospel. We believe the entire gospel. Businessmen like you and I, fellowship coming together, international, going beyond the shores of America. And today, there are about the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International is in about 160 nations of the world. And my own country, Nigeria, is one of the places that the work has done so well. Nigeria, we have more than 3,000 chapters. In every hotel, 5-star, 7-star, 3-star, 2-star, no star, you will find the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship meeting in that hotel. Some meet once a week, some meet twice a month, some meet once a month. It all depends on the nature of the chapter. And no two chapters are the same. Every chapter has its own peculiarity. Why are we here? We are here because we've seen God move in our nation. Why are we here? We're here because we've seen this ministry work. For me, I read banking and finance, and I have worked in the industry for over 40 years. In the last 12 years, I pioneered a mortgage bank in Nigeria. It's a faith-based institution. And we started with about 200 million Nigerian naira. I don't know what that means in dollar. But as I retired on the 31st of July this year, that bank has grown to over 5 billion naira in shareholders' funds and over 11 billion naira in asset base. That's just what God can do. And I retired in July. I turned 70 years in May this year, and I've said, use the rest of my time to share the gospel. To share the gospel as a layman, because God has touched me, and I ought to be an instrument for Him to touch others. Now, in ending my story, it is our desire that the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship, being a layman's organization, we are not in competition with the churches, but we are to complement the work of the churches. Amen. Every Full Gospel member ought to be an active member of his church. If you are in a church that is not on fire, when you catch the fire, you go there and still get the fire. Amen. Okay? And that's what we do. And so we help the ministers, the pastors, as we win souls, we take them to the churches and get them baptized, get them confirmed, but not confused. And then they will carry on the work of the gospel. I grew up as a young man. My parents were not lettered. My parents didn't go to school at all. My own generation, parents didn't go to school. They never saw the walls of a school. But my father managed a great deal to raise me up, to get me through school. He knew the importance of education, and so he tried to get me through school. But he could not get me beyond what you call you call it here, not college, high school. I didn't get beyond high school. But when I came out from high school, I started working. But while in high school, that was my college level, it was class 3 in college. I don't know what grade that is here, maybe 3 grades to the end of my high school service. I came back from school one afternoon, and a senior student, a guy a year ahead of me, took me to the back of the school hall, school refectory, and told me he would show me how to be tougher, how to be a tough guy. So I was excited to be a tough guy. And he brought out a substance in a piece of paper and molded it, wrapped it up, and then puffed and puffed and puffed. I was excited because I know the odor of a cigarette, but that odor was strange to me. And it turned out to be a marijuana. Is that what you call it here? Marijuana. We call it in my country Indian hemp. So he gave me to smoke. I tried to take it from him. He said, no, I shouldn't touch it. That I was not initiated. That I should open my mouth. I opened my mouth. I stuck into my mouth. I said I should close my mouth. I closed my mouth. I said I should puff. I puffed. I said I should puff. I puffed. At the third puffing, I began to cough. Cough very heavy. Then he patted my back and said, Johnny, take it easy, take it easy. And I took it easy. Now, by the time we finished that rap, my world changed. My world entirely changed. Everything he did tickled me. If he moved his head, I will laugh. If he looked into my eyes, I will laugh. If he laughed, I will laugh the more. I became a laughing jackass. Because of the influence of what I had taken. That was my first experience. So he took me to the school dining and soaked what we call gari. I don't know. It's a grain made out of cassava. But we can drink it gari, G-A-R-R-I. Just like cereal, exactly. And he soaked it in water and filled a bowl. Before you could say Jack Robinson, I finished it. Because that thing makes you hungry. I finished it. And after drinking, after eating it, I became a bit sober. But I was still laughing. So he took me to my school bed. I said I should lie down. I lay down. He said I should close my eyes. I closed my eyes. Whatever he asked me to do, I did. He said I should sleep. Believe you me, I slept. But whether I slept laughing, I do not know. But when I woke up the next morning, I felt good, in quotes. And so at the close of that day's school, of the school day, I now asked him, don't just ask me to puff, show me where to get that because it looks good to me. And that was how I got addicted to smoking marijuana for the rest of my year in school, the rest 3 years in school. And after I started working, I'm also involved in it. And so for 7 years, I was addicted to it. I can't eat if I don't smoke. And then from smoking, I became addicted. I went into drinking. I went into womanizing and all manner of things some people do. It was just an obsession. You know, my joy today is that, thank God, at our own time, there was no HIV/AIDS. I don't want to know, you know what it is here. HIV? You know what it is? You know, in my own time, I think it's a modern disease. If that thing was there by then, I wouldn't have been alive today because of the carelessness of being promiscuous. But God is faithful. One day, someone came and witnessed to me about the new life in Christ. Initially, I didn't take it seriously, but when he spoke to me for the first time, I got touched. I realized that I have lived an empty life. Because every year, at the end of every year, I will take what we call New Year resolution. You know, and I will say today, 31st of December, I will smoke in arrears, I will smoke in advance. I will say I won't smoke again, I won't drink again, and so that's my resolution. So on the 1st of January, 2nd of January, 3rd of January next year, I won't step out of the house. But by the 4th day, I will feel within me as if I was going to die. And so if I stepped out on the 4th day, I will smoke in arrears, I will smoke in advance, I will drink in arrears, I will drink to cover the ones I have not taken. And of course, I will drink myself to stupor. One day I got so drunk, and I stopped a cab to carry me, and the cab stopped. Rather than enter inside the vehicle, I jumped onto the bonnet of the car. And I think the taxi guy thought he has stopped for a mad person. So he drove off. As soon as he drove off with speed, the alcohol cleared. And I was pleading with him to stop so I can step down. He didn't listen to me. He came to a road intersection and applied the brakes, and off I went. And crashed on the gold time and passed out. How long, I can't tell. By the time I woke up, God is faithful. I realized that not a single bruise was on my body. That we do things and get away, It's not because you're smart. It's because of the mercy of God. And so when I now realized my lifestyle that was bad, I gave my life to Jesus Christ at the age of 22. And He saved me. My life became changed. Salvation is not by works, for by grace you have been saved through faith. Many people are troubled that if I get saved, how do I get sustained? No. When Jesus enters into your life, no matter how dark the darkness is, light. Once light comes in, darkness will go. Amen. That was how my life was changed. I would like to conclude this story. Then I got involved in full gospel 33 years ago. And I found tremendous time serving in the fellowship. Every meeting we hold like this is an outreach meeting. Time to share your testimony. The time to see souls come to Christ. It's been most rewarding for me. It's been most rewarding for me. And today, looking back, I just turned 70. I understand that Mr. Trump is 70 or 71 years old. He began as a president at the age of 70. So for me, presidency starts at 70. And so I'm dedicating my life to move around and share this gospel.
Amen.
A life without Jesus, a life without Christ is full of crisis. Today, give him a chance.
Amen.
Something new.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Well, wasn't that a great testimony?
Amen.
Hallelujah. Eddie, good to see you back there, buddy. My goodness. Yeah, that's a real surprise to see those folks show up.
We're from the other end of the world.
I know. You never know what you're going to find when you get to Waldorf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you run into all kinds of people.
You have right.
Do I have what?
Justin is turning his cup early in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll be done in a little bit. Let's introduce our next speaker today. Rami's from Nigeria. He's a medical doctor. He's a cardiologist. So if you have a heart attack here tonight, we'll let him do his thing. Let's give him a great big hand, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here again this evening. Like Tony said, I want to thank our hosts for a very exciting time. 1 week, we're here for 1 week, moving across FGBMFA, Virginia. It's been a world experience. I want to thank Justin for driving us down from Lorraine this evening. I want to thank David and my wife. They took me from the airport on Monday night. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
My story is not too different from Tony's, except that my parents went to school. I was telling him my dad was not only the village headmaster, was also the village organist. And that means we went to church. Okay, and church was just church. In fact, most of the church was being forced to go. Whether you like it or not, you must follow him to church. No choice. Went through high school and went to the university, went to the premier and most important university in Nigeria, University of Ibadan, established by the British in 1948. and I graduated as a medical doctor there in 1978. After that, I went to London to study cardiology and then came back to Nigeria to practice medicine and also teach medicine in the university. So today, I'm a practicing cardiologist and also a professor of medicine.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
When I came back from Britain after my postgraduate and specialist course in cardiology, I wasn't going to church anymore. I stopped going to church because all the other ones were just being forced to go to church. And the story of my life changed one Thursday evening in 1988. About 7:30 was this time. I was consulting in a clinic. That afternoon, that Thursday afternoon, I'd been going round about town, just like Jim went about inviting people. I've been going around inviting people because my daughter, my second daughter, was going to be 1 year old. I was going to throw a big party